and we know, and being here with George every day, I know he's a guy that loves it. He loves the ball. He works at it. He wants to be good, and that's where you find your peace and knowing that you can bring him along in that regard because he loves the ball, and that's the approach.
Hold on, please.
Yes.
Let's cut that off. I like Eddie Faulkner a lot, and he's extremely passionate and enthusiastic. So where is the answer that would say, I've been in football all my life. I've been scratching and clawing to work my way up in this business, and that is completely unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. That's what that was. Are you kidding me? No, we have to address that, and we will address it. Instead, he gives a lukewarm little answer to that and then defends the guy. Where's the Eddie Faulkner who's been out in front of the media the last 3 weeks saying anything that pops into his mind? I love that about him. Where was it today?
It just sounds to me like part of the enabling process that has been going on there, right?
Sure does.
We'll slap his wrist and we'll tell him, don't do it again. Don't do it again. That seems to be the message I'm getting out of that.
And I can't help but wonder.
Not enough in this case when the guy said he isn't blocking for his teammate.
And I can't help but wonder if that's the message coming down from Tomlin. He knows what these guys are going to be asked and probably wants a concrete message delivered, a unified message.
Just what I was going to say.
This is a dude, Eddie Faulkner, who has worked his way up from being the running backs coach at Anderson University. I never even heard of that.
I never did either.
Is that named after Craig Anderson?
He wants
Anderson?
to be a coordinator in the NFL, busting his butt to get there, and then he has to defend this guy.
And then to Ball State, and then to Northern Illinois, and then to Pitt, and then to Wisconsin, and then to NC State. And now he's 46 years old. He's probably got a shot at one good job. And I bet if you injected him with truth serum, he said he would say it made me want to puke what George Pickens did. It made me want to throw up. And if I was one of his teammates, I wouldn't even want him to play this weekend. And I bet you he's the type of guy where if he could actually say and feel what he meant, he'd probably start bawling right there. And I bet if the teammates who aren't livid at Pickens would start bawling.
Just embarrassed by him and for him.
I just watched the documentary on, again, The Last Dance on the Bulls. Bill Cartwright was one of their leaders, an older, seasoned veteran, right? And when Scottie Pippen quit on them by not going onto the court for that final shot, they went back to that. You could see Tony Kukoc made the shot, and the Bulls didn't even want to celebrate because something sacred had been broken there. And guys like Horace Grant, Steve Kerr, all in looking back on it, said that Bill Cartwright just cried in the locker room. That after all the work that they had put in the year without Jordan, they had a great year. They won 50-plus games, proving to the world they could do it without Jordan. And then they had their best player and their leader quit on them at the end of a playoff game. He cried in the locker room because that was something sacred that you don't do. This kid, this child, is out here admitting to the world that he quit in a game. And you mean to tell me that Eddie Faulkner's not sick over that? And everybody in that locker room wouldn't be? I would hope they would be, Ron. I would hope they would be.
I would say, instead of sick, I would say furious. I would just think furious. How does he look those guys in the eye? How did he come walking in, whistling maybe today, going to practice? I don't know. If I'm one of those teammates, and we're going to ask Chris Hoke about it tomorrow. He's another guy, Super Bowl champion multiple times, and he played with some great leaders. He played with Jerome and Ferrier, and just get his thoughts on it. I would think furious would be.
Why is he even practicing?
Furious.
Is he practice? When do they practice? Why is he allowed on the practice field today?
They were practicing today, I guess.
How does he look anybody in the eye? You're right.
I don't know how he would.
I didn't want to get hurt on that block. Jalen Warren's the guy getting hit on the play. These offensive linemen,
multiple guys.
These offensive linemen sacrifice life and limb on every play to try to free space for guys like George Pickens.
To give guys quarterback time to find them.
So that goes back to the head coach. I'm sorry.
Does.
And he shouldn't even be allowed. Pickens shouldn't even be allowed on the practice field today.
And by the way, speaking of practice, I saw videos. I think Alan Saunders was one to tweet them out yesterday of a wide receiver drill. Here's Allen Robinson flying through these cones, as fast as he can, giving full effort. Then 14 steps up, and there is a noticeable speed and effort difference from whenever he does the drill as compared to Robinson. And then Calvin Austin, I think, was right after him. It's embarrassing, man.
That's what TJ and Minka were talking about. Guys aren't willing to work.
Calvin Austin was practicing running in motion behind the line of scrimmage, Folsey, and then not getting the ball.
Well, and then Deontay stepped up, and then he went backwards somehow. I don't know how.
He did the drill backwards. And then they invited Matt Canada, and he had to run the drill sideways, right? Yes. Short of the sticks. They put the first down sticks at the end of the drill, and he tells